Hey guys, Brienne Rowe here. Last week we left off with us talking about going over the time distance problem. And this week we're going to dive into the hierarchy of influence factors.
Yeah.
So the influence factors
Mhm.
go impulse, behavioral patterns, chemical emotions, electric thoughts.
Yeah.
But what I want to know is how do you determine the most important factor?
Very, very good. Okay, so I thought, when we start business, even we think whatever we learn in language, in textbooks, that is our tool. Like, I want to be able to say things right, right? And one of the biggest mistake I used to make, or biggest failure I used to have, or I still have it at times, is that I would say the same thing to one person and it will work perfectly. And I'll say the same thing to someone else and it wouldn't work perfectly. And I'm like, what did I do wrong? And I couldn't figure out if my words were wrong or my accent was wrong or did I say it in the wrong speed? I had no idea. And it took me over 9 years of day in and day out experience. And like we've closed over 1,000 deals as of today. Like we have 1,000 at least negotiation experiences, which took us maybe 3,000 conversations to arrive at those closings. So what I'm trying to say is that after going through that many conversations, what we have realized is that language has nothing to do with influence. Because the part of the brain that wants to be influenced does not even understand language. So there's a part of our brain called impulse, like brainstem, which is a very bottom part of our brain. And that's where all our impulses live. This is where we call it, like we have a small part of our brain called amygdala, and that deals with fight and flight. So if we are in fear, it's hijacked. So when I'm talking to someone and if they feel threat of any kind, the impulse is going to take over to fight or flight. And the language of whatever I'm saying is not going to work at all. So, our number one job in an influence, and this is what we call maybe rapport building, is first to make sure the other person feels safe with you. Because once their brain feels safe, their amygdala calms down. And what calms the amygdala down is a conversation where the other person feels heard and understood because it releases a trust hormone called oxytocin. And one of the things I said to, I think Brie, you and I both know Roger, my husband, we've been working together I've been married for 20 years, working together for 18. So clearly we got some success rate here. Um, we're still married, success rate, I guess. And Brie, Roger does not follow scripts. You cannot tell that man what to do. And I don't tell him what to do because that's the easy thing for me. But I want to get things done. One of the things I have noticed is that he can talk to anyone and they will tell him who their grandma is, where she lived, and like he will get all the information from someone. And he wouldn't even follow any script or any format because intuitively all he was going after was the other person feels heard and understood. He grew up in a hospitality industry. He was 80 years old when he started working at a front desk for his parents. And when you're working at a hotel front desk in a small town, in an oil industry town, there's a foot traffic of 30 to 40 people a day that is coming inside and outside the hotel. So he said early on, I learned how to make people feel welcomed and safe and heard because in hospitality, you got to make people feel special and make people feel welcomed. So I think he just intuitively learned that skill on how to carry a conversation where the other person just opens up. Because otherwise, getting somebody to check in, give them a key card is a very dry way of living. Does it make sense what I said just now? So, brainstem first, where the impulse lives, that's a fight and flight, make them safe first. And then you deal with the electric part of the brain, which is thoughts, language, electricity.
You go from impulse all the way to electric?
Yeah. Most of our influence deals with thoughts. We think we have to speak to influence the thought, but that's the electric part of our brain, the neocortex. This is not what's controlling our influence. What's controlling our decisions is our impulse, the brainstem part, the mammalian part, the chemistry, how we make someone feel. So we cannot influence someone by talking. We make we work with people, we make decisions with people by making them feel significant, safe, and heard. Only then our language matters. You broke the rule.
I, you broke the rule. You kept talking. Well, now it's been 5 minutes and 20 seconds. We'll see you next week, and we're going to finish diving into this hierarchy because I have more questions.
See you next time. You
Bye.
need to remind me next time.